Cool, I'm recording. Okay. So we're going to start in Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of your feet together and just lie down on your mat. And start to fill out your body. So making sure your knees are out wide and relaxed. Hands are out to the sides. They can be at shoulder height, palms facing towards the ceiling. And relax your shoulders down away from your head. And start to feel the whole back line of your body against the mat. So from the crown of your head all the way along your spine, right down to your tailbone. And close your eyes if you haven't done so already. And start to deepen the breath. And start to become aware of your belly rising on the inhale and falling back down to the spine on the exhale. And keep breathing like this. Drawing your awareness to the tip of your nose. Deep belly breaths. And start to, if you can, in this, bring in your Ujjayi breath, which is your constricted breathing at the back of your throat. And start to make a sound like the ocean at the back of your throat. Do 3 more deep breaths in your own time. Notice if you're holding any tension in your jaw, relax your face. And start to bring awareness to your fingers, start to wriggle your fingers and open your eyes. And take your hands behind the back of your head and now lift the soles of your feet off the mat and bringing the knees slightly closer to your elbows. We're going to move into some core movements. So on your inhale, take a breath and release your elbows. On your exhale, crunch towards your knees. Exhale, release. Inhale, crunch. Exhale, release. And keep going in your own time, lifting your tailbone each time. And try to spread out your knees as wide as you can to the sides. Make sure your head is heavy and your your hands. And just do 5 more like this. Really trying to draw your navel back towards your spine and drawing in your belly. And your last one. And now take the soles of the feet back down to the mat and rest your head on the mat just for a moment. Hold it here. And now staying in this position, we're going to lift the tailbone up towards the ceiling, keeping your soles, the outer soles of your feet on the mat. So on your inhale, lift your bum up towards the ceiling and exhale back down. Inhale, lift it up and exhale back down. And if you can, keep your bum off the ground. Just hovering it off the ground and then lift it up to the ceiling. And really try to activate your glutes and your bum when you're pressing it up towards the sky. So you almost feel the traction on your inner thighs. And still keeping your awareness to your stomach. Make sure it's drawing back towards your spine. And just go for 3 more like this. Kirst, are you there yet? And reach out your left leg long in front of you and holding onto your right shin, drawing it in towards your shoulder. So make sure your thigh is like slightly outside of your body, outside of your upper body, and draw it into your shoulder. So because you've just woken up, I'll try and keep this class for very good detoxing and stimulation of your lymphatic system. And on your inhale, kick your shin into your hands and slightly lift your head off the mat and just hold it here for a moment. Feeling
I think Kirst just joined.
back.
Hello, Kirst.
And your exhale, draw your knee back to your chest. Yeah, welcome.
Hi, Foz.
You're late. I'm joking.
I know. I'm very sorry.
Right.
I'm gonna do yoga.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I have to do.
Thanks, babe.
So drawing your left knee in towards your chest. Stretch out your right leg long. And hold it here for a moment. See if you can draw that knee closer towards your shoulder, your left shoulder if you can. Make sure your right foot is flexed and your heel is on the ground. And now on your inhale, kick your shin into your hands and allow that to draw your upper back off the ground and feel out that nice stretch of your upper back. First, if you didn't do your right side, also do your right side.
Okay.
And exhale, release. And draw both knees into your chest for a moment, and we're going to move into a happy baby pose. So taking the soles of your feet towards the ceiling, and you can grab hold of the soles of your feet either on the inside. I like to hold it from the outside. And draw your knees towards your body and start to kick your hands into your feet into your hands. And draw your tailbone down towards the ground and try to get your shoulders onto the ground. Make sure you're not stretching too much into the shoulder joint. And if you want, you can rock from side to side here, massaging the spine, massaging the inside of your stomach organ or your internal organs. And draw your knees back to your chest and start to roll on your mat back and forward. And chilly, you can come back up to your seated position, and we move over our knees into child's pose. So for this child's pose, keep your knees together and stretch your arms out in front of you and try to get your forehead onto the ground. And really try to draw your tailbone down to your heels as much as possible. And stretching out here and just taking 3 deep belly breaths. So using this pose to ground yourself as well as massage your internal organs and your stomach, starting to stimulate your digestion for the morning. on your next inhale, spider walk your fingertips over to the right side, making sure that left buttocks is staying down on towards the left heel. You feel that really nice stretch all down the left side of the body. And exhale here. And on your inhale, walk your hands through the center over to the other side, making sure that right buttock is staying down on the ground or towards the heel. And try to keep your fingers active, feeling out the stretch all down the right side. And on your inhale, come back through to center and come up into a tabletop position. So make sure your hands are below your shoulders, your knees are below your hips. And inhale for cat-cow. So lift your chin, drop your belly on your inhale. Exhale, curl your navel round your spine. Inhale, lift your chin, drop your belly, broaden your shoulders. And exhale, curl in. Do two more like that. Inhale. And exhale, wakening up the spine, stretching out all the crinks and cracks from the night before. And exhale, round the spine. And come back to neutral. Bring your left hand slightly towards the middle of your mat. Stretch out your right arm at shoulder height and place your palm towards your midline and stretch your left leg back. So here you really want to make sure there's a long line from the tip of your fingers all the way to your toes. And holding it here, making sure you are connected in your core. And start to feel the awakening of your body. Really feeling that stretch all the way from your fingertips to your toes. And inhale here, stretch it out. Exhale, draw your elbow towards your knee. And inhale, stretch. And exhale, draw it in. Inhale, stretch. And exhale, draw it in. Inhale, stretch it out. And on your exhale, take your right hand and try to grab hold of your left foot. Just kick your foot into your hand, feeling that really nice stretch all down the front line of your body. And make sure your hip is not jutting to the right hand side. Kick your foot into your hand. And on your exhale, release your hand, release your foot. Stretch it out for one more breath and exhale, release. And to the other side. So bring your right hand towards your midline, left arm out at shoulder height, palm facing towards your midline, right leg back. And stretching it here, drawing your navel towards your spine. So really activate your core, stretching your fingertips, stretching your toes. Make sure your head is in line with the back of your body. Inhale, exhale, draw your elbow towards your knee, round your spine. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, draw your knee to knee out to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, draw it in. Inhale, lengthen. Last one, exhale. And lengthen. And now taking hold of the right foot, kick your left hand.
Pause.
And kick it for one more deep breath in. And exhale, release, stretch it out for one breath. And exhale back down. And just come into your child's pose for a moment and curl your toes under. So feel out your alignment in this pose. So stretch out your hands, make sure they're shoulder width apart. Your buttocks is down towards your curled toes or your feet that are curled. And on your inhale, we lift the bum up towards the ceiling and come into your downward facing dog. So this should be your correct alignment for your downward facing dog. And just feel out your feet here for a moment. So making sure your hands are shoulder distance apart. The weight is evenly distributed in the palms of your hands, all four corners. Make sure your feet are parallel to the edges of your mat. And take 2 deep breaths here. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. And now take a really deep bend in your knees and start to hover them off your mat. Try to see if you can lengthen into or stretch into your back by drawing your knees in a bent position like this. Inhale here, and on your exhale, straighten your knees and lengthen the back line of your legs. And draw your feet together in your pose here and come onto your tippy toes. Inhale and exhale, swivel your heels over to the left side, and keeping that left foot up, drop the heel of the right foot and come into a little bit of a side stretch here. Should be feeling it all along your right side of your body. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift the right heel off the ground, swivel over towards the left side and drop the left heel down towards the ground, keeping the right heel lifted and just feeling that really nice stretch all down the side body. And inhale, come back to center and take your feet hip width apart. Look forward. Inhale, jump or step forward to the front of your mat. And just hold here for a moment. Take your feet hip width distance apart and grab hold of your opposite elbows with opposite hands. And just hang heavy here for a moment. And start to rock from side to side, nod your head, shake your head. Starting to awaken your body, feeling the opening of the back line of your legs. This is a really nice pose to use the weight of your body to open up the back of your legs. And change hold, so take the opposite hand with the opposite elbow, so just changing the position of your hands and sway from side to side. And release. Feet together, bend your knees, inhale, roll your spine up all the way to standing. Loop your shoulders on your exhale. Inhale, hands up towards the sky, high mountain. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Tuck your chin, complete the pose. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine, hands to shin or mat. Exhale, we step back into plank pose, feet to the back of your mat. Make sure your hands are below your shoulders. Curl your tailbone, draw in your navel, and hold it here for a moment. Start to activate your core. Keep breathing, relax your face. Inhale, rock forward slightly over your wrists, and you can either come down on your knees, and we move into chaturanga, bending your elbows alongside your body. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, lift your bum to the sky and downward facing dog, and stretch it out here. Take 2 deep breaths. Inhale, and exhale, let it out. Inhale and exhale. Look to the front of your mat. Jump or step on your inhale. Lift your spine, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And bending your knees, come all the way up to standing high mountain. And drop the right hand down towards the side of your body. You stretch into your left side, keeping your left arm up, palm facing down towards the ground. And you want to try and draw that right hip forward to the front of your mat. Make sure that left heel is grounded. And inhale, right arm up and over to the other side. And inhale, back up, stretch up, relax your shoulders back down. And feel your energy rise all the way to your fingertips. And exhale, hands through your heart space, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the mat. Exhale, chaturanga, jump or step back to plank pose. Inhale, rock forward, chaturanga. On your exhale, inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. And take a deep breath in and deep breath out. Inhale, lift your right leg off the ground and just keeping your hips aligned here for a moment. So flexing the foot that is raised, making sure the foot is active and kicking away from your body. And draw your shoulders away from your ears. And point your toes. Stretch your leg. Inhale, and on your exhale, draw your knee to your nose. Hold it here for a moment. Curl your core in, round your spine. And exhale, leg back, 3-legged dog. Inhale and exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, knee to left elbow, cross your body. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, draw the knee to your nose, hold it here for a moment, and drop the foot between your hands. Lower the back leg down towards the mat. Keep your toes curled under if you want, or you can flatten your foot. Make sure your foot is directly below your knee. Inhale, your arms up towards the sky. And you should be feeling this really nice stretch all down your body, all down the left side of your psoas muscle. And draw your left hip forward, right hip back. Making sure your hips are facing the front of your mat. Relax your shoulders. And take a deep breath in here. And exhale, can you go a little bit further into your pose? Inhale. And on your exhale, bend your elbows, birdwing your arms all the way down in a circular movement back to your mat. And staying in this lunge position, we're just going to lift the back leg off the ground and bring your left arm to the midline of your mat. Raise your right arm up towards the sky into an easy side lunge. And holding it here, make sure there's not too much weight in that left arm. And stretch it out. And now start to do big circles with your hands. So going in one direction, starting to stimulate the lymph nodes underneath your armpits. And do 2 more in one direction. And change direction. Making sure that back leg is active. And release the hand down to the mat. Inhale, step your front foot towards your back foot, coming into your plank pose. Hold it here for a moment. You roll into side plank, so rolling onto your right foot, making sure your right arm is firmly holding your body, and roll over into your side plank. You can take an easier pose by moving your left foot in front of you like this, in line with your hips, or keeping your 2 legs together. And try to lift your hips up. And hold it here for 2 more breaths. And inhale, roll your hands down. We roll over to the other side, so making sure your right palm is firmly placed on the ground. Raise your right arm up towards the sky, and if you want an adjusted pose, take your right foot towards the midline of your mat, just holding it for extra support. And making sure there's a long line from your fingers all the way to the fingers towards the sky. Lift your hips up a little bit higher if you can. Keep breathing. 1 more deep breath. And exhale. Drop your hand down in front of you. Inhale, rock forward, drop to your knees, or bending your elbows, come down into your cobra or upward facing dog. Inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. We hold our downward facing dog for 3 deep breaths, making sure your feet are parallel to the edges of your mat. Make sure your hands are shoulder width apart. Lifting your tailbone all the way to the sky. Roll your shoulders away from your ears and draw your awareness back to your breath. Inhale, lift your left leg up towards the sky, roll that left hip down, so making sure your hips are in line. Activate the foot, flex the foot. Should be a long line from the crown of your head all the way to the lifted heel. Inhale here, point your toes. And exhale, knee to nose, round your upper back. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, back to lift. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, lift the leg. And exhale, draw the knee to nose, hold it here for a moment. And drop the foot between hands. Drop your back knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Make sure your knee is directly above your ankle. And look at your alignment of your hips and make sure your right hip is rolling forward, your left hip is rolling back. And on your exhale, can you lunge a little bit deeper? Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Broaden your collarbones. Active hands. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, stretch a little bit deeper. And on your exhale, bend your elbows, draw your arms all the way back down to frame your front foot. Inhale, lift the back leg off the ground, draw your right hand towards the midline of your mat, and stretch your left arm up into your easy side twist. And try to Make sure there's not too much weight in that right hand. Really bring the weight to your legs and start to draw circles with your arm. And change direction. Really feeling out that massaging of underneath your lymph nodes, underneath your armpits. And draw the hand back to the ground. You step that front foot towards the back foot into your plank pose and hold it here for a moment. Step the right foot out and back to the midline, holding your plank pose, left foot out to the side and back to your midline, holding your core, right foot out and back to the midline, left out and back. Draw your tailbone down and keep going like this. One more to each side. Rock forward into your chaturanga, bending your elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Deep exhale. Inhale, lift your right leg off the ground. And now take a bend in that lifted leg and draw your right heel towards your left buttocks and open up your hip to the right side. Feeling that really nice stretch. And see if you can lower your grounded heel to the mat even further. And inhale, draw your knee to your nose. On your exhale. Inhale, lift the leg up towards the sky, point your toes. And exhale, draw it to your knee and knee to your nose. Hold it here for a moment. And exhale, drop the foot between your hands. And just taking a deep breath in here, holding this lunge position, keeping your back leg off the ground. Inhale into your high crescent lunge. So bending that back knee a lot and making sure your knee is directly over your ankle. And just take your hands to your hips for a moment and make sure your hips are directly facing the front of your mat. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And try to see if you can straighten that back leg. And relax your shoulders away from your ears. Active hands. You should start to feel it in your legs. Inhale here. And exhale, side twist. Take your right arm back towards your left leg. Right arm, left arm front of your mat. Easy side twist. Inhale, lift your arm up, back towards the sky. And exhale, we open up into warrior two. So making sure your feet are in the correct alignment. So your front foot is, toes are facing forward and your back foot is at 45-degree angle. So making sure your heel is grounded and bending a lot into that front knee. Making sure your hips are facing forward to the long side of your mat. Active arms. Inhale, looking over your front fingertips. And exhale, try to bend that front knee even further. Inhale, lift your right arm up into reverse your warrior. And exhale into your side angle, taking your right arm down towards your right ankle. Lifting your left arm up and over. Making sure your back heel is grounded. Using the traction of your elbow and your knee One more deep breath in here. And exhale, we move into reverse your warrior again. And inhale, windmill your arms back to the front of your mat. And now step your back foot slightly in. Move into pyramid pose. So straightening out your front leg if you can, and making sure your back foot is at a 45-degree angle, and your feet are in a parallel track from one another. Inhale, lengthen your spine, stretch out your back, create space. Exhale, fold over your front leg. Try to get your forehead to your knee. Whether that front leg is bent or not, that's okay. And this really stimulates your thyroid here. Making sure that right hip is rolling back, your left hip is rolling forward. Inhale, lengthen, try to create space, and exhale, fall forward. Inhale, look forward, step your back foot towards your front foot. We inhale for a halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Bending your knees on your inhale, roll all the way up to standing, high mountain, arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, your hands to your heart space, thumbs to your sternum, into your prayer position, elbows out to the side, and hold it here for 2 deep breaths. And just to calm the mind a bit. Inhale, lift your arms up, high mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Tuck your chin, complete the pose. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, jump or step back to chaturanga, bending your elbows on your exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 deep breaths here. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky. And pointing your toes. And now rolling your left hip open, taking a bend in that top leg. And take that left heel towards your right buttocks, opening up the hip, feeling out the stretch. And try to draw that right heel down, even closer to the ground. And inhale, draw the leg back to center. And on your exhale, draw your knee to your nose. And drop the foot between your hands, keeping your back leg lifted. And just fill out your alignment here in your lunge, making sure your foot is directly below your knee. Inhale, lifting up into your high crescent lunge and taking a back bend into that knee, back knee for a moment so your hips face forward. And draw your navel towards your spine, curl your tailbone slightly. And draw your shoulders away from your ears. And straighten that back leg if you can. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And on your exhale, we move into a twist, taking that left arm back, right arm forward. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, move into our warrior 2 position, making sure your feet are in alignment so your back foot is facing forward at a 45-degree angle and your hips are open towards the long side of your mat. And look over your front hand. And inhale, can you go a little bit deeper on your exhale? Inhale, reverse your warrior, take your left arm up and over. And exhale, we move into side angle. So taking your left arm towards the inside of your inner elbow, your inner left knee, and draw your right arm up and over, feeling out that stretch all the way from your right fingertips to the right heel. And keep breathing. And on your next inhale, we reverse our warrior, keeping that front leg bent. And take that left arm up and over. And exhale, bird, bring your arms down to the ground. And step your back foot slightly in towards your midline, making sure your feet are in a parallel track. And lift your spine, lengthen your back. And exhale, fold forward over that front leg, trying to straighten it as much as you can. And don't take it too far. You want to try to aim to get your forehead on your shin, even if the leg is bent to the front. Make sure your right hip is rolling forward, left hip rolling back. And try to lengthen your back so you're not rounding your spine too much. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, take it a little bit deeper. Inhale, look forward, step your back foot to meet your front foot. And exhale, forward fold, let that go. And take your feet hip width distance apart, and we are going to move into a wrist stimulation. So for all of us that have worked at our computers all week, take your palm of your hand below the soles of your feet. So your toes should be massaging the insides of your wrist. So if you can't touch your toes, then just bend your knees a lot in this pose. And you really just want to be massaging the wrists with your toes. Try to bend as much as you can. Fold forward. And release. Take your hands out from the soles of your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, gently roll all the way up to standing. Loop your shoulders on your exhale and relax your hands down at your side. We're going to move into some lymph stimulation. So coming to the middle of your mat. We're just going to bring some movement into your body here. So starting to just roll from backwards and forwards on your feet. So you've got lymph nodes in your feet, starting to stimulate them, taking a slight bend in your knees, and your feet can be hip width apart here. And start to incorporate your arms into the pose, so rolling forward and back on your heels, arms forward. And start to bring breath into this pose, and it can start to waken up your body. So you take a deep breath out like this. I can't hear you guys. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Really starting to feel the blood flow all around your body. Deep breath in. Keep going. And start to slow down. Keep breathing. Until your body has come to its natural stillness. And draw your hands to your heart space in Hakini Mudra. So taking the fingertips spread apart like this, touching each other so it looks like almost like the brain would. And this is a really nice pose to stimulate the right and the left side of your brain, bringing out alignment. And just hold it here. Your body should be tingling. Inhale and deep exhale. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. And come to the front of your mat. Inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, hands through your heart space, forward fold. Taking a deep bend in your knees, we move into Utkatasana chair pose. Arms up towards the sky. And take your gaze down towards your feet and make sure your toes are peeping out below your knees. And draw in your tail, your navel, and curl your tailbone down. Arms up. Relax your shoulders, broaden your collarbones. And on your exhale, draw your hands to your heart space. Lengthen your spine, draw your shoulders down and out. And on your exhale, we twist over to the left side, and taking your left elbow towards the outside of your right knee. And twists are really good for the morning to stimulate your digestion. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Try to lean back almost like you're leaning against a wall. And inhale back through center, arms up towards the sky. The sun has come out. And on your exhale, hands towards your sternum. And exhale, twist over to the other side. Lengthen your spine. Right arm on the outside of your left knee. Go back to center, Utkatasana, finish your pose. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, jump or step into your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. And inhale, lift your right leg off the ground. And on your exhale, we move into pigeon pose. So taking your right knee towards your right outer wrist, and your right ankle should be in line with your left wrist. So if you need to get a cushion, then get a cushion. Sorry, I should have told you. You can place the cushion underneath your right buttocks, and it just helps lift your hips so that it's not taking too much pressure in your knee. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And make sure your back leg is directly straight so it's not flaring out to the side. And exhale, forward fold over that leg. Drawing your awareness to your breath. And coming back to your mat. And try to soften and release on your exhale. And take 2 more deep breaths here. On your inhale, start to come up and roll onto the outside of your right buttocks and bringing your left leg up and over the right leg. We move into a twist. So taking your left arm behind you, right arm up. Exhale, twist. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist. Inhale, lengthen and exhale to twist. Inhale, take your gaze back to the center of your front of your mat and exhale, we just rotate that twist to the other side. And inhale, back to center. Take your hands to the front of your mat, roll over your knees, and just step back into your downward facing dog. And take 2 deep breaths here. Inhale, lift your left leg up towards the sky. And on your exhale, draw your knee to the left wrist, right left ankle to right wrist. And I like to creep my back leg back as much as I can so that I create open space for my hips. And now you can place a cushion underneath your bum if it's very high up off the ground to level out your hips. And take your gaze back behind you and make sure your foot is directly in line with your mat, parallel to your mat. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold over your front leg. And on your exhale, can you soften into the pose and go a bit deeper? And take 2 more deep breaths. Inhale, lift your upper body off your leg. And roll over onto your left side, drawing that right leg up and over the bent bottom leg. And stretch up out through your spine. Take your right arm behind your body, left arm up, and twist. Inhale to lengthen. And then exhale, twist a little bit. And on your inhale, take your gaze forward. And on your exhale, counter pose, taking it over to the other side. And on your inhale, look forward to the front of your mat. Take your hands to the front of your mat and just step back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, take your gaze forward and step your feet forward into a seated position. And take your legs out in front of you and just take the fleshy part of your bum away from your sit bones, making sure the sit bones are on the ground. And it's really nice if you've got that cushion to sit on your cushion to get some length in your spine. Inhale, lift your arms up, stretch, and exhale, fold forward. And this pose is also really good to help for sleep. It helps calm the mind.
There's nothing calming about this pose.
And inhale, come all the way up, bending your knees and taking your arms out alongside your knees. And we start to roll all the way back down to your mat. And draw your knees into your chest for a moment, rock from side to side. And we come full circle to the beginning of the class. So taking your right shin, clasping your hands behind the back of your right shin, and left leg stretching out in front of you. Heel is flexed, so making sure foot is active. Inhale here. And on your exhale, twist your right knee over to your left. Take your right arm out, shoulder height, and take your head over towards the right. Making sure both shoulders are firmly placed on the ground, moving into your supine twist. And inhale, come back to center and swap legs. So stretching out your right leg in front of you. Left knee draws in towards your shoulder, holding onto your shin for a moment. Inhale. Exhale, draw the left leg over towards the right. Left arm out at shoulder height. And take your gaze over to the left side. Making sure both shoulders are on the ground. And inhale, come back to center, draw both knees into the chest. And just rock from side to side here. Now give yourself a nice big squeeze. Thanking yourself for your practice. And exhale into your Shavasana pose. So taking your legs out wide, take up space, equal distance from your midline. Take your hands out towards your side, palms facing up towards the sky or the ceiling. Relax your shoulders, make sure your whole body is long on the mat. And lift your head a little bit and stretch it away from your shoulders. So drawing your chin perpendicular to the ground. And close your eyes and start to deepen your breath. And just feeling the clasp in your body. And start to feel your body heavy in the ground. And all you have to do is draw your awareness to your breath. And you can stay in this pose for as long as you like, but I'm gonna bring you out of it for now if you want. So start to bring your awareness to your fingertips and your breath. So start to deepen your breath. Belly rise and belly fall. And stretch your arms up above your head and stretch your legs out long in front of you. And on your exhale, roll over onto your left side, drawing your knees in towards your chest and hold it here for a moment. Using your left arm as a cushion. And gently roll up to a seated position. And take your hands to your heart space, thumbs to your sternum. And take a deep breath in here. And exhale, bow down, namaste.